There we go, and we are live. Welcome everybody. We're a little bit later than usual today. We're starting off at 8:30 instead of 7:30, but that's because all my my co-hosts here at the podcast were unavailable. Did get Devon from 8:30, so Devon joins me today.
Hello everybody, how's everybody doing?
So here we are at episode 14, and the podcast is growing a little bit week by week, and we're getting a bit of an audience now, about 40 or 50 views a week, so it's going pretty well on the podcast side of things. Let's see how are we going to start this?
At your screen now.
Oh yeah, no, it's I think that is obviously in the absence of our co-host. So if he does manage to see this, I want him to get a bit of a chuckle. But
a bit of a chuckle. He's actually gonna switch.
If only I cared. But let's see. So let's start with TnB, shall we? We'll start with TnB. So TnB last week Friday, obviously we visited Silverstone. Yes, that's right. I just went blank for a second, but we visited Silverstone. Let's just put that down.
Yeah.
There we go. That was the just bringing up your results from the qualifying session that happened on Friday. Obviously, it was Maverick. He took pole. That was the reserve driver for Alpha, stepping in for Sebastian. Then Nismax in second and Voss third. That was your top three there. Alpha, Ferrari, Renault. Wouldn't Ferrari love that if they were at the top of the grid in real life? Yeah, and then that top five, RZDV and Jean in fifth. So it was a relatively close qualifying session. Fastest time of 125.5, and basically the top six were all in the 125. So 4/10 covered the top six, and then 87th, Boinkies 8th, Pickle 9th. And Vino made it to the top 10, but he didn't set a time. And then obviously in the race itself, let's just bring that up. And those were your race results on Friday. Obviously Nismax took the victory from second place on the grid. Maverick started in pole, managed second place. Boinkies probably had the best move up the order. He started on 8th and finished in third. Then I don't know who that is in fourth. Voss in fifth, Staffy sixth, Springbok Gamer seventh. I never comment on myself. Jean in eighth, Mac at ninth, and then Wes making up the top 10. 11th Judge.
Oh, why are we not talking about the person in number 4? Why are we not talking about that guy that is report, which is his best result for the season so far?
Okay, yeah, I thought you were going to say it's my best result. That was a good result. I was happy with that. That fourth place, that's first time in a very long time, and I was able to do it with relatively quick people still behind me.
And doing commentary with me. So multitasking.
Yeah, I was in the comms box as well. It was a bit fun. They did something a bit different. Heard Wazzy swearing in the background. It was all good. But so guys,
yeah, well, it was good fun though. It was good fun. I mean, we had one day, so should have been my first solo, and you gladly stepped in to help me, so thank you. But it was good. Guys, very close.
Yeah, no, it was a. I don't know. From my perspective, like I had a really good race. I finished in fourth place, from sixth on the grid. So I made up 2 positions throughout the entire race. But from my perspective, the race was pretty lonely. I just found myself in a bubble most of the time. I'd have a guy behind me, and I'd be able to manage that gap, and the gaps in front of me were a little bit too big. I was catching Boinkies in the final stint. When I came out of the pits, he was about 21 seconds ahead of me, and by the time we crossed the line, the gap was about 9 seconds. So
you actually made a good time in the last, you won finished soft, if I'm not mistaken, and 20s was on odds.
Yeah,
mediums.
He was probably on mediums. I don't think that many people used the hard, but yeah, I don't know. It was a bit of a funny call. I'm still questioning the pit stop that I made. If I made it 2 laps too late, or if I actually should have gone longer. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Jeff told me to come into the pits. Okay. For my pit stop, but I didn't come into the pits because the lap before Jeff told me to come into the pits, I set the personal best with those mediums, and the next lap I set personal best, and the next lap I set personal best. So for 3 laps in a row, I set personal bests on the set of mediums, and then basically Wazzy told me that the guy behind me was making up a lot of ground and I should pit, but something about it still bugs me, because I was doing personal bests, which means I was getting the best out of that tire right at the end of the tire, which makes no sense. But yeah, I actually think I could have stayed out for another 2 laps, and that extra pace, that extra fresh rubber at the end could have made the difference. But yeah, I'm not gonna cry too much about the podium because I think one is coming sooner than later. So
it's got some launching if you want. It's gonna just keep what you're doing. There was no your partner or your partner crime wasn't there. You should be back this week if I'm not mistaken.
Was a good Friday for Alpha though. Very good Friday for Alpha. We
illegal in PU in that one Alpha.
Just bring this up here. There we go. There's your TnB Championship. Obviously, Matt, he missed the last round. He missed his own round. He missed his home race in Silverstone. But don't worry, Matt. You can miss another 1 or 2. It's really okay. And then not Kimmy. He's in second with a 138.5 points. Sebastian 121. He also missed out last week. Boinkies has moved up to 4th in the championship. Then RZDV 5th. Jean 6th, Staffy 7th, 85 points, just ahead of Nizmax by half a point. That half a point may play a part at the end of the season. Then Maverick doesn't look like a reserve driver, 9th place, 83 points, just ahead of Force, makes up the top 10 on 82. And I'm there in 13th on 55 points, and this is going to be shocking, but that's the most points I've ever got in a championship. So
the most points.
That's the most points I've ever got over 10 rounds. So yeah, in terms of the points, that's the most points I've actually collected in a season. And we've got 4 races to go. And USA looks good. USA is looking quick. So I'm pretty happy with that. But for the
USA has always been, especially the first turn, it's usually a big mess up because of upper braking and a blind left-hander.
What really surprised me about Silverstone is that it's not my favorite circuit, by any measure, not even close. And I don't like the circuit. I battle there. I'm slow. But on Monday, the Monday before the race, I went out and I did a few laps, and immediately something was up, because I didn't even put a setup on, and then I asked Muna, is that a real time? And he said, yes, it's a real time. And I was like, okay, what's going to happen when I mess with the setup? And then I started playing with the setup, and yeah, I just found the dream setup for Silverstone. I actually like that track. I could go back to that track this Friday. I'd do it again. I don't know what happened, but that race was just perfect. Like, the car was set up in such a way. I don't like Silverstone. Like, after that race, I promise you, my whole opinion of that track has changed. Once you've got a car that's actually handling properly, that track can be quite a lot of fun. I mean, it was awesome. I didn't have a spin. I didn't have an off. I didn't see the grass. The car was just turning in the way it was supposed to. It wasn't oversteering or understeering. It was just doing everything right. So I've actually taken that exact same setup and modified it very, very slightly, and it's very quick in the USA as well.
So here's a question for you. Since race one, which was at Hanoi,
yeah,
you don't like the game. The game is a little bit different than last year. How are you finding it now after Silverstone? Or after the last few rounds that you've had?
Look, I haven't played 2019 since I got this. So, you know that my best comparison would have been when we first started playing the game. Because honestly, now I can't remember. But when we started playing in Vietnam, it was a combination of the game being new and me not knowing the track. So it was just a disaster. Round one was not fun at all. Then I thought, okay, it'll get better when we go to round two, but it did not. The game felt terrible. Not the game, but the car. Like I just couldn't attack. I couldn't attack the exit of the corner like I used to in 2019. If I attacked it anything like that, the whole back end of the car would just jump out, and it was a disaster. But I've actually figured a way around it, and it involves my wings, and it's very crazy. Anybody that looks at my setup is like, what? But it doesn't make sense to me either, but it works, and it feels good on track, and it's working in the USA as well. So let's see what happens. Yeah, I've already done a number of triple digits. I've done triple digits.
Okay.
I've done triple digits. So I didn't do triple digits at Silverstone though. Silverstone, I think I did in total. I'd say I did 30 laps during the week, and then on that Friday, I did 50 laps before the actual race. But I think USA could be good, but we're going to have a lot of quick names returning. Obviously, Matt should be back. We're not 100% sure on Sebastian if he's going to be back. He might miss next week Friday as well, unfortunately. But that just gives opportunities to guys like Boinkies on 98 points, RZDV on 88. They can reclaim their third place in the championship with a good showing next week. So obviously, let's just I can bring up the calendar real quickly. I know where we're going, but
USA.
There we go.
In Suzuka.
Let me just bring this
in
up.
France.
There we go. Next track, the United States, and then we go to Japan, and then we go to France. And the calendar looks like it should be over at France, but obviously we have to go back to round 3 and do Mexico, because that was that disaster race that the safety car decided to come out and park itself on the main straight and not move ever again. So we have
I've seen something involving you, obviously, this last Friday, and safety car told you to slow down, and then you got taken in and screwed you a little bit over again, I think.
Yeah, there was a steward's incident report, whatever, against me, because I'm not even sure who it was. I think it was Jean that reported it. He drove into the back of me, but what happened was I ran wide, and Jean passed me under safety car. So immediately he slowed down to give the position back. At that time there was nothing on my screen, there was no penalty, there was no warning, there was nothing. So I thought, okay, he's giving the position back, the game's obviously telling him to give the position back, so I drove past him. But the moment I drove past him, I got the message, give the position back. So I slowed down to let him go, and he didn't go. And it's like a timer, it gives you like a couple of seconds, and that thing was getting awfully close to giving me a penalty, and he just wasn't passing, so I slammed on brakes, and he literally didn't go around me, he just drove right into it. So it was unfortunate, but it was definitely the safety car that caused that. I ran wide, but I didn't get on the grass or anything like that. I was still on the tarmac, and he drove past me. So the game should have said, give the position back. I should have passed him, and that should have been the end of it. But then it penalised me, and that's why I've got 8 seconds penalty at the end of the race there, because 3 seconds for corner cutting, and the other 5 second came under that safety car situation. That 5 seconds could have helped me towards Boinkies a lot. So it was a bit of an annoying moment. But other than that, yeah, I was happy with the race. I was happy with the round, and
commentary section.
yeah, and that was also interesting. I was doing a bit of comms in qualifying while driving. Yeah, that was fun. But at least when I went back and had a look at the stream, you guys weren't filming me on my quick lap. So I was like, okay, well, at least that's good. That's why I got it done. Because if you were filming me,
you should have gotten your quick lap.
No. So
I actually saw something interesting this week.
yeah, your voice is breaking up pretty badly there, Devin.
Sorry. I said I saw something interesting this week. Well, not this week, but an article. Firstly, from former Ferrari boss, Ross Brawn, saying that Ferrari's woes or Ferrari's issues are not to do with their speed alone, but also them being able to keep up with.
What's that?
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I'm having a bit of a problem here with Devin's voice. I can't hear properly. But well, that's I suppose we can stop talking about TnB now. It's your area of expertise. Can we just touch on what's happening at SSR?
That was run on Thursday night. And new guy. I found out his name was Nicholas Leon. And I kept seeing Nickelodeon on my timing screen whenever I saw his name. So I do apologize for listening.
The name was Nick Leon. I called him Nickelodeon in commentary, and I was.
Well, if you do listening, we apologize.
So,
but it did look like Nickelodeon. Yeah, new guy, quite fast. He won over 20 seconds
on debut. Debut. First race,
Damn.
Won the race. Nicely done. It's a great way to make an entry.
But hopefully, I don't know if you've been following this. I know Frick is active on the media, on the social media sites for that game, and they are bringing updates out this week. Hopefully Thursday. So there should be a fix for the headlights. I'm not sure about the spectator mode. So we should have some night running soon, I hope.
Evening Munna. We've got Munna there in the podcast. Warren, you should be in the podcast with us. You're wasting your data listening to us, and you could be using your data in a Discord chat. So you could be doing this from anywhere. So you should, if you're still there next week, I'm gonna have to rope you into this. But you better be back on Friday, because might lose your alpha seat, boy. That was a great drive by your replacement. And your teammate's not getting fired either, because he finished 4th. So you better get on back. Yeah, I'm just looking at the calendar here. This is quite weird. Do you realize there's red in each flag? And white. It's really weird.
So which calendar you like? Which calendar you looking at?
Our TnB calendar, there's red. Our TnB calendar, there's red in each and every single flag. Looks like we were just like, nah, you're not on the calendar. You don't have red in your flag, mate. So
and the one that we're redoing after France.
Sorry, what's that?
So after France, we should be doing Mexico, and that's also got red and white.
Yeah, that's. We're gonna do France, and then afterwards we're gonna have to go back and redo round 3. So obviously there's still 4 rounds to collect points, and Matta seems to be very far ahead now. But if he misses another 1 or 2 rounds like he did last week, this championship could come back into contention. So just the championship there again, just to remind you. Matt 177 unchanged from round 6 because he missed the race. Kimi getting a bunch of points there for sec.
He should have been racing.
He didn't race, so he's 138, and Sebastian. So the top 3 remaining exactly the same, and then that midfield being allowed to catch up a little bit. But that's for TnB. Let's start talking F1. We're almost halfway through the podcast. So last week, obviously, there's your results for the Formula One race that happened in Spa-Francorchamps. Lewis Hamilton. It's not really a huge announcement. It would be a huge announcement if he didn't win. But Lewis Hamilton winning the race by 8.5 seconds from his teammate.
Did you hear what this the radio message to Bottas though? When they told him not to use his, I suppose what it was, his overtake button, and he said he didn't hear that.
Basically they let him. He asked for it twice, and they gave it to him the first time, and the second time they did not. When Bottas asked them for more power, I think it was with about 10 laps to go, they basically said, you guys are running first and second, bring it home. So, Bottas, that number 2 driver, is just, nobody wants to call it a number 2 driver, but that's what it is. That's clearly what it is. And obviously in third place, Max Verstappen doing one hell of a job again. He's really the only guy that can sort of challenge the Mercs, and did it on a 3-stop. And then Renault's best result since returning to F1, 4th and 5th. It's also the most. I think it's the most points Renault have gotten in a race. Yeah. So since they're back, of course. Since they've been back, I'm not talking about.
On this opening lap, yes, he was in softs, and Max was on mediums. But if you look at his opening lap, challenging into what was that? Not turn 4.
Yeah, it was basically there around the chicane up at the top of the hill. He was still going for it. At the end there, Ricciardo got the fastest lap of the race, and that was without Renault's permission. That was out.
Watching because I just couldn't handle what was happening in. That was
without Renault's permission. Basically, Renault had told Ricciardo, listen, you're in 4th, Ocon's in 5th, this is an amazing result, bring it home. And Daniel Ricciardo went rogue with his engineer. So basically between him and his engineer, they started talking, and they were like, you know what, we're going to go for this. And they decided to turn that Renault up to max power. And it got the fastest lap of the race. So if we're going to Italy next week, a track with a lot of similar characteristics, if you're talking about the straights, then if they're capable of fastest lap, we don't know what's going to happen. And obviously next week, I think, is the week that the party modes are getting banned. So I don't know what's going to happen. It could backfire really badly. Nobody talks about it, but what if Red Bull has a better party mode than Mercedes? It's just not enough to make up the difference. But now when they both lose their party mode, Merc could be further ahead. So this could backfire. Really don't know. I suppose the teams that don't have a very great party mode in qualifying, they'll be happy about this. And the teams that are getting a hell of a performance out of that party mode, they're not going to be happy about this at all. So we don't know who's got the best party mode, who gets the most out of it. So I suppose we'll see next week if there's any difference, and if it brings the Mercs any closer to the rest of the field, or if it actually does the opposite and helps them accelerate away. That would not.
Well, we know.
That would not be good.
Well, we know that one team is something to worry about. It is Ferrari. That was doesn't matter if they have party mode or don't have party mode. They're still not going to be anywhere close to the top three.
Yeah, the problem there with Ferrari is that's a big problem. Something is not right. I thought it was obviously all about power, but I think there's something wrong with the chassis of that car. I mean, an Alfa Romeo finished ahead of a Ferrari, and that's not supposed to happen. I was making fun of Renault a while back, because when Red Bull had a Renault engine, Red Bull beat them, and now McLaren had a Renault engine, and McLaren was beating them with their own engine, and that is basically what Alfa just did to Ferrari. There's
actually a tweet on Twitter, I don't know if you saw it, about Kimi passing and he said he had a chuckle in the car.
Let me see if I can bring that up. Let's see if I'm any good at this. There we go. There's the pass. Kimi getting past quite nicely, cleanly. Vettel didn't make much of a fight for it. Like, I don't know. Can you see that on your screen there, Devin? There we go.
So at that point, on Twitter there's him having a chuckle in the car.
Yeah, he has a chuckle on the team radio, because he was probably thinking, "Oh, I'm loving this. I'm not your number 2 anymore. I'm allowed to pass you now, and I'm doing it in a Alfa Romeo."
I'm thinking about Alpha News. I don't know if you saw, or I saw an article earlier. There was a glimpse of an article. Nico Hulkenberg and Mick Schumacher to Alpha.
This could be very, very possible. The Hulkenberg, obviously he had a good performance. When he came in for Perez, well, he didn't start the first race, but the second race he had a good performance. But I think Giovinazzi, I don't want to say Giovinazzi's a bad driver, because I don't believe he's a bad driver, but when Alpha had Charles was putting that car where it shouldn't be, and Giovinazzi's not able to do that. So well, he hasn't been able to do that so far. So I wouldn't be surprised if Giovinazzi was replaced, and that is the Ferrari junior seat, and then Kimi Raikkonen is the Alpha seat. So Kimi would be replaced with Hulk, and Giovinazzi would be replaced with Mick.
But do you see it happening so soon, though? Do you see?
Yes, I do, because I've been watching a lot of Formula 2, and Mick last season didn't have the greatest season, but I've been following his career. I watched him in Formula 4, I watched him in Formula 3, and he's got this trend that he's carrying on with in Formula 2, where his first season is really not anything great. I actually looked at a comparison of it, and in season 1 of Formula 4 he finished 12th, and in season 1 of Formula 3 he finished 14th, and then he won both those championships the second time around. So I don't know, it seems like he takes a season to get acclimatized to the car, but and then this season came around. He didn't have the best start to the season, but things are starting to go well now. I mean,
yeah.
Silverstone, he got a podium, and here in Spa he started in 7th. I think he got 3rd in the feature race, the main race, and then he got 2nd in the sprint race on Sunday. So he is showing pace, and he's starting to show a bit of consistency, and he's starting to get on the podium. It's a bit of a tough one though, because he's 4th in the championship, and 1st in the championship is his teammate, Robert Schwartzman, German driver, a Ferrari driver from the Ferrari Driver Academy, just like Mick. Robert Schwartzman is also a Ferrari Academy driver. He is leading the Formula 2 championship in his debut season. He's the reigning Formula 3 champion. And I think he won in his third race. His third race, he won it. So he's made the step up and adapted to those cars a lot better than Mick did last year. So I don't know, but I have also heard rumors of Schwartzman also coming to Formula 1. So we could see Mick and Schwartzman coming to F1, but Schwartzman filling in a Haas seat. I still think that Ferrari element in Haas is gonna come to play, and because they've got so many drivers in their academy, and there's really nowhere for them to go right now. So I think they're gonna start utilizing at least one of those Haas seats, and I really don't know. Well, let me just take this off your screen. There's the results again. Just look at those results of the. Just to point something out here. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the last 6 cars that finished the race, 5 of them had Ferrari motors, and the other one was Nicholas Latifi in a Williams. So Magnussen finished stone last. Grosjean finished just ahead of the Williams. So you know what? I don't see Grosjean going past 2021, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a complete shake-up at Haas. To replace both. They're really not doing that great. People rate Magnussen very highly, but I saw Magnussen like in his peak. In his peak, when he came to F1, he was in his peak. He won all the formulas he was in. He was the next big thing, and he came to Formula 1. He got a top car from day one. Threw him in a McLaren Mercedes at the time, which was a race-winning car, and he just squandered the opportunity. And now he's at Haas, and he's still rated very highly, but I'm just like, you know what? Throw somebody else in that car. Give somebody else a chance. That's clearly not working. It's clearly not working, and they need to do something different there at Haas. Otherwise, we're going to see a team disappear from Formula 1, and I don't want to see 18 cars going around. 20 is low enough.
At least Williams is staying in the sport with a new sponsor, with a new owner.
It's a buyer. It's not a sponsor. Somebody has bought the team. I can't tell you much about them honestly because I haven't really researched it. But they're not really known for motorsport. It's a consortium of. It's a bunch of people. Basically, it's been bought under that company name, but it's a consortium of owners that own that company. So, and it's got nothing to do with motorsport. So, I don't really know what their vision is going forward. There's still strong rumors that suggest Claire Williams is going to remain at Williams in her capacity that she is right now. So, or are they just gonna go in there and shake up everything and bring in their own people, or I don't know, utilize that Williams experience? I mean, we've already got an American team that came into Formula 1 and realized that Formula 1 is not Indy. It's very difficult. It's you know, IndyCar, you've all got the same chassis. You've got one of two motors. You've either got a Honda or a Chevy. And other than that, it comes up to how the team sets up that car and how you drive that car. But in Formula 1, if your car's rubbish, then yeah, you're not going to get on the podium. You're not going to get major points. You're not going to make major money. You're just going to be a place filler, and that's unfortunate. But if they need to start finishing in the top 10 on a regular basis and bringing home points on a regular basis. I read an article about Formula One and Gene Haas. Now, obviously, Gene Haas has a team in NASCAR. Do you know that his entire NASCAR budget for a season is less than what you spend on an F1 race weekend?
Just tires actually at F1 with a budget of a NASCAR, I suppose.
Well, basically, do you know how much 4 Pirellis would cost in our fantastic South African money? A set of 4 Pirellis on a Formula One car are valued at $14,000 per set. Per set. Now think about all the, when you've had one of these terrible races that you made 5 or 6 pits up, all those tires, all the tires they just burn out in practice and qualifying. They go and they have like 1 lap with the damn things and they throw them away. Yeah, it's really difficult. What I'd like to see, like I said, I've been watching a lot of Formula 2, and now you don't want to add any costs to Formula 1 because it's already expensive and they're trying to make it cheaper. So things like refueling, we're not going to see refueling coming back. Okay.
No, we're not.
Number one, okay, there's a number of reasons it's not coming back. Most important reason is that car's full of electrical energy from a battery. You don't want flammable. Okay, so that's number one. So it's a safety thing. And then number 2, you're just going to add an additional cost because now teams will obviously have to get those rigs in order, and so it's not coming back. Formula One's trying to work towards zero emissions, and other people are talking about refueling. It's not coming back. One thing I'd like to see them do is apply the Formula 2 way of doing things. In Formula 2, they ban tire warmers, and it makes one hell of a difference, because when the guys come out of the pits, the guys that are up to speed and the guys that come out of the pits, there's almost a 4-second difference. It's huge. When your tires are cold, the gap, the time difference is massive. So that's something they could do in Formula 1, where you come out of the pits and your tires are cold, and the guy, you come out just ahead of your competition and you manage to stay in front of him. If your tires are that cold, you're not going to stay in front of him. That guy's going to get ahead of you. So I think it could just cause a little bit of uncertainty and a little bit of mixing up the order in a way. But yeah, Belgium in a nutshell. Mercedes, no surprise. Renault, big surprise. Ferrari, oh lord.
Are where we expected them to be.
Yeah, look, I never expected Ferrari to be this low. Okay, I thought, okay, maybe, they're gonna. I thought, okay, Red Bull will beat Ferrari. Okay, so you'll Merc, Red Bull, Ferrari. That'll be your constructors. But Renault is faster than Ferrari. McLaren is faster than Ferrari. Red Bull is faster than Ferrari. AlphaTauri is faster than Ferrari. Racing Point is faster than Ferrari. Alfa Romeo is faster than Ferrari. So yeah, that's all the brands that finished ahead of Ferrari. So just to go through it again, the brands that finished ahead of Ferrari: Merc, Red Bull, Renault, McLaren, AlphaTauri, Racing Point, and Alfa Romeo. So they're gonna love that because Ferrari owns the Alfa Romeo brand. So yeah, that's like a that's like
Did you see the overtake Pierre Gasly did on Perez? just coming up, just before Radion and Eau Rouge.
You mean this?
Yeah. In.
I don't have commentary there for you because I don't need any F1 copyright infringements, but there we go, Gasly up the inside through Eau Rouge. That's how we race. That's what his mechanic told him. Nicely done. But it could have been a disaster.
So this is why I bring it up though. The carbon copy of what Perez and Ocon did. That was the year that he finished racing, or the year prior to that, when they each other into the wall.
I can't hear you. What was that?
So it's nearly a carbon copy of what happened between Perez and Ocon a few years ago.
Yeah, except there was contact, I think.
Yeah, except there was contact and they ruined each other's race.
Well, I think I think Gasly's doing exactly what he needs to do. He got a lot of criticism when he was in Red Bull for not being able to make the move. Okay, he got a lot of criticism for just not being able to make the move. He'd get stuck behind someone and he just wouldn't be able to attack. He never looked like a driver that could beat Max Verstappen.
He's actually racing for that seat again.
But if Gasly drove a Red Bull like he drove that AlphaTauri, that was the first time I ever saw a Pierre Gasly drive that I thought he could beat Max like that. He could. That fearlessness up Eau Rouge and up the inside, that's what he needed when he was at Red Bull, and that's what they didn't get. And Albon was making incredible passes in the AlphaTauri, and that's why they took him.
Yeah.
But now, I don't think Gasly's going to go back to Red Bull anytime soon, because Red Bull will be red-faced if they do that. So I think they'll just leave him at AlphaTauri for now. He's getting points for AlphaTauri. He's quick. He's happy there. He's in the midfield, and he's doing a good job. And I think they just need to put a lot of time in there with Albon and just understand what is his problem with the car. What is he not getting right? And they can't abandon that second driver like they've done in the past. They need some sort of consistency there.
I heard that the Red Bull was saying that Albon is doing exactly what they expect him to do. And so, in saying that, it doesn't sound like he's going anywhere soon.
No, I don't think so. I think they've basically run out of cards to play, if I'm being honest. Because basically there was a time where the Red Bull Young Driver Academy or whatever, it was extremely strong. Okay, in fact they had way too many drivers. Okay, there wasn't enough Toro Rossos or Red Bulls for the amount of drivers they had. If you look at Formula E, there's about 6 Red Bull dropouts in Formula E, and they're not dropouts. They're fantastic drivers that just Red Bull turned around and said, you know what, realistically, you're not going to get into F1. You can go on your way now. You're released from your contract. I mean, the guy that just won the Formula E championship, Antonio Felix da Costa, the Portuguese driver, he was a Red Bull driver.
Yeah.
That got dropped just before, like getting us like a few steps away from Formula One. It was basically him or Carlos Sainz. And yeah, Sainz got the drive. But speaking of Carlos Sainz, how does he feel every time he sees a Ferrari?
Did you see his face?
The man must be worried. I mean, he's in a McLaren. McLaren's doing well. It's going in the right direction. It's getting a Merc engine next year, and he's going well. If Ferrari don't do something, and I don't know what they're going to do, because you can't actually change the car that much between this year and next year. The teams have got a few tokens that they can use, but it's not going to be. If the car is fundamentally broken in every single way, they are not going to fix it for 2021. They don't have enough upgrade tokens to fix all the problems that are there. So just looking at the Formula One Constructors Championship, obviously McLaren leads by one heck of a margin. They lead by almost 110 points. So that's Mercedes on 264. Red Bull doing a good job actually. When you look at the rest of the field and the gap down to the rest of the field, I think they're doing a great job. Red Bull in second in the constructors with 158 points, and then that midfield battle. I haven't seen something like this in years. McLaren 68 points in third place, Racing Point in fourth 66. Wow, Ferrari in fifth place 61, and Renault in sixth on 59. So, look, if Renault repeat that performance or get a half decent performance in Monza, they should pass Ferrari in the championship. And that's, if you told me that at the beginning of the season, Renault beating Ferrari in the constructors. And from those times, I believe Renault could be the second quickest car come next week. Saw that fastest lap. We saw what happens when they actually unlock the potential of that Renault motor. It's quick, and they go if that's their strongest thing is their motor. Well, they're going to the perfect circuit. They should also have fun at the Bahrain outer circuit. I don't think Ferrari's going to have fun there.
I've actually never seen it.
You've never seen the?
I've never seen it.
I can try and get it up here. Let me see. So I'm just gonna have to search an image of it, but then I'll get it up on the screens just now. Just Bahrain. See if I can just bring this up on your. Actually, want an image that shows both, because then you can actually see the difference. Okay, there we go. Just use this. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to save an image so that I can show everyone. If you haven't seen the Bahrain outer circuit as of yet, let's close this. It will be up shortly.
Yeah.
So are you not familiar with the outer layout at all?
Everything. It's not the short circuit on the game. Obviously not.
No, it's not. It's definitely not the short circuit on the game.
Is it the one that they use in the endurance races?
Let me just see. No. Let me just see. I just want to bring up.
Oh wow. Okay, it's overlaid over the construction.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a black background, but yeah, I think I did. I do have a background.
It's just straight on straight.
Let me just see. I just want to bring up a background here of some sort, and then you can actually see the track a bit better. I'm sure I had one, but I've lost it. Oh, there we go.
No, just like a straight and a straight.
Yeah, that doesn't help either. But
That's
basically, just I don't know. I can't get this thing right. But anyway, basically, sector 1 is going to be the same. So turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, followed by a straight, turn 4. That's all the same.
Yeah.
Turn 5 is completely different. Okay, so basically, you see after turn 4, you've got the white track. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be, you go down, you do the circuit. Now you're going to follow the black track. You're going to do turn 5, which is a left-hander. And then I'd say from 8, 9, 10, that's full throttle. I think that's F1's closest thing to an oval. And they're estimating times of 55 seconds around this track. It will be
55 seconds. That's faster than
it'll be F1's first sub-minute circuit. So I think it's going to be great. It's going to be really, really interesting in qualifying. If you've literally just got cars going around on full throttle, and there's not that many major braking points really to mess up. So I think qualifying is going to be really close. I think we might even see some interesting cars up there in the top 10. But we'll just have to wait and see. So let's just bring up the Drivers' Championship. There we go. Lewis Hamilton obviously leads the championship by 157 points, but if you look at that, Max is doing a fantastic job. 110 points in the Red Bull, ahead of Valtteri Bottas in the Merc. So Bottas really shouldn't be beaten by anyone. Okay, his teammate, fine, 6-time world champion. Maybe you're not as good as Lewis, but nobody else should be beating him. He should be second every time, in my opinion. And the fact that Max is beating Bottas in the championship, it's quite bad. Albon, he is 4th in the championship. Sounds pretty good. It's like, why is everyone giving Albon such a hard time? Max is 2nd, Albon's 4th. Yeah, but look at the points. Max got 110 points. Albon's in 4th on 48. So he doesn't even have half the points his teammate has. Albon is ahead of Leclerc. And Vettel's not even Norris is actually on equal points with Leclerc. I don't think any of them would have predicted that in the beginning of the season. Then Stroll, 42, not the greatest race for Racing Point last week. They were pretty quiet, and then obviously Ricardo up to 33 points.
Actually withdrew the challenge or the to the rear brake ducts.
Yeah, your voice is going again. I don't know if you're too close to your mic that it starts doing that, but every now and then it's just breaking away a little bit.
I'm not sure. I'll have a look.
This is not alien voices.
I see that Renault withdrew the practice against Racing Point.
Yeah, they did. Renault withdrew their appeal, but it's still open because it wasn't only Renault that appealed. It was another team, and that other team has not closed their appeal. So that other team is Ferrari. I never thought I would see the day that Ferrari were fighting Racing Point, because that's the only way they're going to beat them is if Racing Point get banned. That's a bit shocking. But this is going to be a very interesting weekend. We're heading to Monza, the home of Ferrari, the home of the Tifosi. And they couldn't be going there at a worse time. It's going to be it's probably a good thing that Tifosi can't come to the race. I think it would be a lot worse if those grandstands were all red.
But what do you think? They're going to run out of the from the track after the race, or just retire both cars and then just leave early? Oh, but there's no fans, so it doesn't even matter.
No, they're not leaving early. They're stuck in Italy. They've got to be in Italy for the next 2 weeks.
Oh yes, it's Misano after that, isn't it?
And not Misano.
Misano.
Mugello. And what's going to make Mugello even worse than Monza is that Mugello, they are going to have the Ferrari club there. Okay, so basically all the big shots from Ferrari, all the CEOs and presidents and the big boys they're going to be at Mugello, all of them. So, yeah, that maybe it's a good thing. Maybe they need to see Ferrari get their asses handed to them, and then they will make sure that there's a big shuffle in that team, because something needs to happen. I don't think getting rid of Benotto is going to fix anything. I think the whole problem in that team is stability.
Yeah, it's not going to be it's not going to be a quick fix. That is more of anything they need to. Yeah, it's going to take a while, and it's not going to be next year. It's going to be maybe 2021, 2022, maybe.
Are you using the Discord on your laptop, David? You should have a look. You should have a look.
But I won't do it next week.
No, in
next week I'll pick my phone again.
If you go to the Discord page and you can see TnB Podcast room, there's got something there, noise suppression.
Yeah.
You should try and use that. I think that will clear a lot of your background noise. But we'll test that a little bit before the next stream. But yeah. Let's just get this back to where it was, because now I've gone blind. My screen is... There we go. It's back. So, yeah, that's F1. We're heading to Italy, and Ferrari is in crisis. So, it's going to be an interesting one. Hopefully Alfa Romeo do not beat Ferrari in Italy, because that's just embarrassing.
It's more than likely it's going to happen again, and if Giovinazzi didn't crash out on Sunday, he probably would have ended one or both.
I think if Giovinazzi hadn't crashed, he would have been ahead of Raikkonen. So yeah, I think both Salvas would have finished ahead of both Ferraris. So that would have been even worse. But yeah, now we're going to start heading into a bit of an interesting part of the calendar. Obviously we've got Monza next up, which is a familiar venue. Then we're going to a new venue. We're going to Mugello. We're also having a third race in Italy, just a little bit later on. But we're going to be going to San Marino, which is fantastic. I haven't seen Formula One cars go around there since, I have no idea. What is it? 2014, I think. No, was it earlier than that? I'm not sure.
I think it was earlier than that.
Might have been maybe it wasn't even the teens. Was it 2004? Might have been 2004. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look, but it was a while back. And I know the track is pretty much in its original format. They've changed the final corner on the track because of the pit entry being too short for Formula One. So there was a chicane on that final corner, and they've removed it. So the chicane on the final corner will no longer be there. You're going to have a much faster run in the final part of the track, but you're also going to have a much longer and safer pit entry. But other than that, the track is pretty much the same track we've always known, except for obviously the big chicane in front of corner where what's it? I can't remember the
GP.
MotoGP don't race at Imola.
Not Imola.
Sorry?
No, I'm thinking of the wrong track now. Wait, sorry. I'm thinking of the wrong track.
In MotoGP, basically MotoGP and Formula One, they have this really stupid rule, and there's a really easy loophole through it, but it's that a country cannot host two races. And clearly, there's a lot of, especially in MotoGP, Spain hosts 4. So how they get around it is it has to have a second name, which is why these Grand Prix is not the Bahrain Grand Prix and the second Bahrain Grand Prix. They give it a second name. It's just like when Germany had 2, the one was in Hockenheim, it was called the German Grand Prix, and the other one was in the Nürburgring, and it was called the European Grand Prix. So yeah, it's going to be they used to call it San Marino, the San Marino Grand Prix, Imola. Imola is not in San Marino. Okay, San Marino is a small principality in northern Italy, And Imola's not far from it, but it's definitely not inside it. Imola is in Italy and not in San Marino. And then in MotoGP, you get a San Marino Grand Prix, which is Misano, and that's actually in San Marino. So, yeah. So the MotoGP, they're not going to be back just yet. We're missing them for another week. That's why we haven't spoken any MotoGP in this podcast, because there was no race last week. There's no race next week. They're on a 2-week break. But then it's going to be MotoGP pretty much to the end of the season, with the odd 1 week break here and there. So if you're looking forward to MotoGP, it will be back in not this weekend, the next. And what we have to look forward to this week is everybody's getting very depressed on the Formula One and getting very negative on the Formula One, and MotoGP is not this way, so we're only going to have Formula One. Oh, so sad. No, there's lots to be excited about. We're going to Monza. We're going to Monza, and we're going to see the Ferraris get. No, this is coming from a Ferrari fan. This is not easy to say, but we're going to see Ferrari get a hiding at home, and they're going to be so grateful that the Tifosi was not able to attend, because that wouldn't have been pretty. That huge Ferrari flag that the Tifosi have that covers like 100 people. Have you seen that thing? I'd be so mad if I was under that flag. I'd be like, I can't see. Get this crap off me. But yeah, so they don't have to worry about the Tifosi this weekend at least. But when they do get to Mugello, there are going to be, I think, it's not a lot, but I think it's the first race with any sort of fans.
Serious?
I think they're going to have,
Cool.
I think they sold 3,000 tickets. So I don't know how many fans is 3,000. It's probably 3,000 VIP tickets. It's probably all pit lane stuff. I don't know. But Portugal's going to have 50,000 spectators. It's a track that can hold 120,000, and because of the state of Corona in Portugal at the moment, basically they applied, they got approved for basically 40% capacity. So they're going to be running 50,000 fans. So we will see some fans. I think we're also going to see fans in was it Russia? I think Russia we're also going to see fans. So yeah, grandstands will get a little bit more entertaining. And
I know that 24-hour race, which is next weekend, they still not having fans. So I see some fans at the F1. You'll probably we have the greatest fan.
Just battling there with your mic. But we're gonna call it, because we've actually been talking for an hour. So we've made our 1 hour mark, and we don't want to talk your ears off. Plus we started late, so it's 9:30 already. But yeah, I think that's it. We're going to Monza. What's going to happen to Ferrari? Are they going to get beaten by Alfa, or even worse, are they going to get beaten by Haas or Williams? Can it get much worse? We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Formula One this weekend, and SSR heads to. Remind me. Where are we going for SSR?
Paul Ricard.
We're going.
I actually asked if you want to join.
No, I won't be doing Paul Ricard on that, because
Update ad, so I don't even know.
no, because I'm sure I can find an excuse. Just give me 1 second. I'll come up with something original. Oh yes, okay. I can't do Paul Ricard at SSR. Absolutely not, because I've been practicing it on F1, and on SSR it doesn't have a chicane. So no, out of the question. Can't do it. Can only do that track with a chicane. That's my reason.
Very long.
Yeah, that's my reason.
Very long run.
Yeah, that's my reason. I can only do that track with a chicane. I can't do that long straight. I'd probably fall asleep on the straight. So yeah, I'm gonna say thank you to the viewers. We were up to We're up to 5 views at a stage, and that's pretty good for live views. This podcast gets a lot more views after its live broadcast, and it gets more views on YouTube for some reason. So I'll upload this to YouTube later, and yeah, Devin, final words. What can we expect in Italy? Give me a top 5 prediction for Monza.
It's been the same as in Spa. Mercedes 1-2, followed by Max. Max might win Bottas. I'm still about there, so yeah, Mercedes 1-2, Verstappen.
So saying 2 Renaults, 2 Mercs, 1 Red Bull.
Yeah, basically. Unless the pink mark can actually, one of them can actually do something and upset Ocon, but it's gonna be something similar to what we saw in Spa.
Well, we saw what happened when the Renault turns the engine all the way up. What if Renault could not win, but just give Mercedes a few headaches? I think they could on those long straights, DRS after DRS, straight after straight, slipstream after slipstream. I think they could give them a few headaches, and I think Danny could even put it on the front row. So we'll see what happens.
I suppose it also depends on what it's going to be.
It's also another factor.
Mercedes doesn't like the heat.
I'm just not going to listen to any European weather reports at all. Okay, because Spa. The whole week I was looking up Spa, okay, and it was 60% rain the whole week. It didn't drop to 50 or 40 no, it stayed at 60. And then on Sunday morning I checked it again, and you know what it said on Sunday morning? 100%. It didn't rain. So 100%. I know my math's not great, but yeah, no.
So it was raining for the 6-hour endurance race, and that was raining heavy. It was a heavy downpour that started on the safety car. At the stage, they had to bring the safety car back up because visibility was that bad. But yeah, I actually thought we were going to see rain on Spa on Sunday.
I don't want to see heavy rain. Modern F1. Old F1, yeah, they used to bring out the wets, and they used to drive like complete maniacs, and it was amazing to watch. But in modern Formula 1, we know that's not going to happen. If it rains too hard, the safety car comes out, or they start behind the safety car, and I hate that. So, just a sprinkle, a little bit of wet. You're like, oh no, what do we do? We're gonna have to jump onto the mediums, and then the rain stops. That's what we need. Just something really to just mess all the teams around, get their perfect strategies out the window, and maybe we can get a result where a Mercedes-Benz is not winning the race. Have they won every race this season? Is that no?
Yes, they have.
They've won every race.
Yes.
No, Max won a race.
Max won in.
Yeah, Max won a race, so that record is still safe. No team has ever won every race of the season, so that at least that stays intact. But yeah, I think we're gonna call it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. This will be on YouTube later, and that's it. Devin, you can say your goodbyes, and we'll be on our way.
The rest of the week catches on Friday for those that tune in.
100%. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. And that's that.
Cool. Thank you.